Okay. We made it again, and I'm awake, believe it or not. That hasn't been the truth for most of the day. I will say that. Now, let's see if we get this camera set up correctly. There we go. All right, here comes my screen. And let's see if y'all can hear me and see me, and I didn't mess anything up too bad. Finley the dog. Hey, that's two in a row. 5 by 5. Lorna, Robert just gives me 1-5. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, happy Saturday here, guys. It was cold today, 60 degrees, and go outside for a little bit. I didn't do much today but sleep. And I'm probably going to have no problem sleeping tonight because I'm still freaking exhausted. But I at least did get my chores taken care of today. So I did all the prep work on my straw bales and stuff like that. So things got done, but there wasn't much else. That was it. My butt and the couch were pretty good friends today. But did get a chance to pay attention a little bit of what's going on. It's funny, I noticed in the comments here a few minutes ago somebody talking about Idaho. And when I was doing my research for I think it was this morning's video. I don't know. When you fall asleep, the days kind of get messed up. But I guess Idaho has some of the most overinflated house prices in the country. Boise is number one. I think Coeur d'Alene was number 3, where the housing market is just insane and it's priced everybody out. You've got all the Californians moving into Idaho and all the Idahoans moving out because they can't afford to live there anymore, which that's not a good thing. But it was interesting because I was looking at the, again, places where people are moving. And, this one might surprise you a little bit. Lowest overall tax states in the country, right? Between property tax, income tax, and sales tax. Alaska's number 1. Tennessee's number 2 for lowest. So, y'all know Mrs. P and I were looking seriously at Idaho and realized we just couldn't afford anything that we liked up there and wound up out here. I think we made the right decision. No offense to you guys in Idaho, beautiful country, loved it there, everything like that, just couldn't afford it. So, hence here we are. All right. Rifleman says our property taxes went up $400 this year. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people. It seems like they reassessed everybody's property, including mine, this year. Somebody had emailed me, though, this afternoon, and in regards to taxes, I want to bring that one up real quick. They said they got a letter from their county courthouse that authorizes the county to come into your house and take photos of anything. That sounds like a personal property tax, guys. If they want to come to your house and take a picture of, you've got a house and you've got a garage and you've got a barn, that's one thing. But the personal property tax has been tried all over the country for decades. I mean, I was in Chicago in the 70s when they were trying it. It was probably done before that. And they say, oh, yeah, we can come into your house and take pictures and assess the value of everything you own and then tax you on that. The easiest answer is what everybody did back in the 70s. Don't answer the door. They can't break down the door. Okay. It goes back to those Biden squads and everything like that. Just don't answer the door. So that's it. Go from there. But yeah, interesting. Damn well they'll try to tax us any way they can because, hey, they got to pay for all these illegals somehow. And, the only way to do it is, rob from the rich and give to the poor. Except in this case, it's pretty much robbing from the poor and giving to the poor, or giving to the people who don't even belong here in the first place. Got an easier solution. Send them all back. That would be a better idea. I'm sorry. Economic refugee is crap. No, not my problem. Okay. 250 years ago, we didn't, the United States didn't like their lot with how it was going in Britain. They fought Britain and they overthrew the government and started their own. Do the same thing in Ecuador or wherever, same thing. You don't like the government you got, do something to change it. I'm sorry, running away is not the solution. And I know that it's the same time as we say everybody's leaving New York and California to go somewhere else. But such as so. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect answer. I wish I had one. If I had one, I'd be sitting in the White House reading off a teleprompter with letters this big, not Joe. But that would be the whole deal. All right. So let's get into Q&A here. Short soliloquy, because there's really nothing in the news that I saw today that was really important to talk about. And I personally don't care about the Johnny Depp trial. So not a big deal. As per normal, keep it PG-13. Moderators, North Shore, Robert, Jacob, Lucky Dame, and Lorna, all here to keep the riffraff out. Family-friendly atmosphere, guys. PG-13 is fine. Let's not be pissy to each other or anything like that. So we're all here to help each other, have a little bit of fellowship, and just have a good time. So get into some Q&A. Again, if you got questions for me, please, like every other channel on YouTube, put them in all caps so that way I can scroll through real fast and see what you got. I will go through as many as I can, and we will go from there. So please stay away from the YouTube voodoo stuff, the 2020 election, the contents of the vaccine, which if you all saw the story that came out of the FDA on Johnson & Johnson, you need to go look that one up. Obviously, I can't talk about it. Or if you want to go look at the study that came out of Great Britain today, that's another one you might want to go check out. But I will just tell you guys this: we were right. We'll leave it at that. And of course, they don't like any of the FJB or the LGB comments. So, though they come up in the videos and nobody's done anything, but better safe than sorry. Mods don't need to throw them out if they say it, guys. I'm just asking, avoid those. All right. Let's get into Q&A. I will get up to the top here and see where we start. I will mention something else. You guys are talking about mountain lions and bears and stuff like that before we came on. Yeah, mountain lions and bears here, local DNR or whatever you want to call them, wildlife. They insist there's no mountain lions and no bears here. Yet every one of us has caught one or both on our cameras, trail cams, or whatever we've got on our properties, and they insist every time, oh, that picture must be from somewhere else. It's not from here. There was a mountain lion sitting at the bottom of my driveway this week. So, but hey, they don't exist here. Don't ask. They're here. And we got snakes too. So low taxes and wildlife. All right, looking to see. Saffron's Bay self-sufficiency. Forgot to charge my phone. My sister just won Miss Indiana. Got to grab the charger. Congratulations to your sister. There you go. That's kind of cool news. Never heard anybody say that before. Kim, lots of Californians moving to Reno. That was one of the big reasons why we left Vegas. Mrs. P wanted trees, and I saw Nevada turning into California. And when they elected Sisolak and Jackie Rosen and I forget the congressman's name, Horsford, and I'm like, we're gone. That was it. The end of that. Felons and communists are not the idea of who I want governing me. All right. She loves Cam, Blues Brother. This is my Saturday night hat that we've been doing this. 2 years ago, somebody said Saturday night was hat night, so this was the hat, and it just stuck. Let's see. Whoops, need this to scroll, not the whole page. Kim, what do I think about Jerome Powell's handling of interest rates? Well, that could be the last question of the night. Powell's trying to structure a soft landing here, and I don't want to get too wonky on this one, but yeah, trust me, what he's trying to do is slow down a bad economy. He's trying to slow down inflation, but and that's the whole reason for raising interest rates, trying to get people to stop spending money. The problem is we've got a economy that is going backwards. And so what we wind up in with is a stagflationary ideal. We're going into a recession. There's no question. I've said this for a while. It's funny because this past week, all of a sudden, you've started having economists come out and say, we have a good possibility of a recession. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Stop looking at the official numbers and, go to the grocery store and start looking at the real numbers, not the ones that are doctored up. Powell's too little, too late. He's not going to be able to stop a recession from coming. We'll probably see second quarter GDP go negative, and then the stock market will follow accordingly. And then we're going to be in a recession 2 quarters in a row of negative GDP, and we're in a recession. So that'll go right into the election. So as much as that, yes, I know what you guys are going to say about the election. It's if we have one. But it'll go right into the election. And of course, well, the left is going to try to make the whole election about Roe v. Wade. Most kitchen table people, kitchen table issues don't include abortion. It's going to be, gee, the economy sucks. How are we paying bills this month? And that's what people are going to look at. So, all right. Terry Hardaway, where are the bees? Saw one a week ago. The carpenter bees are out. I know that. We've already had to kill a couple of them. Caught them in our little carpenter bee trap that one of y'all sent me. I had to modify it a little bit so I can hang it up, but it works well. But yeah, we're seeing that. And I hope to God the bees are out there, because our cucumbers have flowers all over them. So, certainly want some cukes. Francis Zayats, they added $100,000 to my property value for taxes. Well, live in Idaho? That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They got to drive up the taxes somewhere. They don't want to do it at income tax, So you'll see the property taxes go up. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. David Galifaro, do I think that there will really be a food shortage? My family thinks I'm crazy for sticking up. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody that thinks we're crazy is crazy, because you look at what's going on with farmers. 7% of the corn is planted so far. We should be at 40, okay? 20% of the world's wheat comes from Russia and Ukraine. Gee, none of that's getting planted. None of that's coming out. Okay. You start looking at everything we've talked about with supply chain stuff, with tractor shortages, with fuel prices, with truck drivers. I mean, ask any truck driver right now about the cost of diesel. They're like, it's not worth driving the truck. What you get paid for doing the job is enough to put gas in the tank. And they're going, I'm not doing this for free. I mean, literally, that's where it is, guys. What these guys are getting paid for a load fills up the truck. And they go, cool, I just got to spend 3 days on the road away from my family, and I didn't make a penny. Forget it, Yeah, there will absolutely be a food shortage. I mean, you will see it in the fall when harvest season rolls in. You'll probably start seeing it over the summer, but by the fall, people are going to be like, why is there no food in the store? Why is it $9 for a loaf of bread? Because we told you and you didn't want to listen. Again, I go back to the same thing, and we've looked at realistic stuff. I showed you the corned beef a couple of weeks ago. If there's anybody in this country who can tell me that their groceries cost the same this year as they did last year, I would love to know where they shop. Because anybody that was stocking food last year isn't buying it at this year's prices necessarily. So they're saving money. So for the people, your family that thinks you're crazy for stocking up, gee, ask them what they were paying last year and say, don't you wish you bought that last year when it was $1.99 instead of today when it's $5.99? I do. Elizabeth, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Patty Hansen, did I hear about the food plant fire a couple days ago in Saladino and an ammonia leak later on? That one I didn't. I did hear about the uh, train that derailed up in Allen County, Fort Wayne, Indiana, full of soybeans. Kind of interesting how that one happened. It was the cars in the middle of the train that fell off the track. Now, I'm not a train engineer or anybody in that, but correct me if I'm wrong, but usually when something derails, doesn't it start at the beginning and continue on? Not the first 15 cars go through fine, the next 5 fall off, and the next 15 are fine. It just struck me as a little odd. Of course, that's under investigation. They don't know why. But again, food. Shipwreck. Scroll up and check my question on plastic shortage for bread bags. You're going to have to ask it again because I can only go up so high in the chat because even if you try it yourself, you'll see you won't go back to like before we started or anything again. So put the question up again. I'll see what you're talking about. Rooster Cogburn, bought my first silver rounds at $22.30 plus a $5 premium per round. Any cheaper premium or equal to, or I don't know what equinto is, to avoid it. $5 premium's a little steep, yeah. But even $27.30, I'm not going to scream about that terribly. You should be pretty close to buying the bottom on silver prices right there. So, yeah, I mean, you can shop around some of the bullion dealers. Will occasionally have sales, where it's $2.99 or $3.99 over spot. But yeah, this 20% premium stuff is a little crazy, but that's just what it is right now. Treasure Seekers, crazy weather, Northern California under a winter storm warning. Yeah, and Texas is 100 degrees. Go figure. Grand solar minimum, right? There we go. Don't give me this climate change crap. Warren Buffett, I'm in Virginia. The government said the value of my 2015 Jeep went up, not down, but up. So did my property taxes. Yes, it did. For about the last 9 months or whatever, the value of used cars did go up. Now, of course, they're crashing now with interest rates going up. I saw something today where used car prices are dropping like a rock. Which is good because they got to the point where people were buying a car last summer and selling it last fall for more than they bought it for. A car is a depreciating asset, unless it's a classic or something like that. But, your typical Ford or Honda or whatever it is, you don't buy it to expect to turn around and make money on it. Brewer's Wife, random question. How'd you come up with your YouTube name? I get this every once in a while. Pinball was my call sign when I was in the Army. Tracy Coffin, what do we do with banana peels and water again? That's going to give you a high potassium fertilizer. So that's going to be good for overall growth of your plants, for fruiting, and for rooting. So what you're going to do is take your banana peels, snip them up into like inch square pieces, and just soak them in water for a few days. You'll get a cloudy water at that point. Strain out all the banana peels, the solids, leave that liquid, mix that at about a 5-to-1 ratio with water, and then water your garden with that. It's good for adding potassium to the soil. Good for, especially, it's more used for house plants because something else used for potassium to add to the soil is wood ash. Spreading wood ash out in your garden is not a big deal, but most people don't want to be spreading wood ash around their house. But it works in both places. Jeanette Elizabeth, what would be a better water filter pitcher other than a Brita? For everyday use, we use the Zero Water, which is an excellent one in itself. It's a lot cheaper than a Berkey. I've got the little mini Berkey. We don't use it every day. That's in our preps. That will be in case I wind up having to drink water out of the pond or something. I can use that. But in a pinch, Even if I had to drink water out of the pond, I can boil it to get the solids out, run it through the zero water, and I'm still good. So get the solids out, kill any bacteria or whatever. That was my point there. But yeah, if you're looking for a much better one on the cheap, go with the zero water. If you're looking to spend the money, then you can look at an Alexa Pure or a Brita. We're gonna get shot to the bottom. So back up we go. Here we go. Okay. Tony Joya, can you talk about the vote for the World Health Organization, World Economic Forum to take away our rights? All right, so this one's been emailed to me quite a bit, and it's a sensationalist comment, and this is why I haven't done any video on it, because it's fear porn. There's this article that's running around all over the place that the World Health Organization is going to put up a vote sometime this month where they're going to take control of all countries in the world, that the World Health Organization is now going to be the one in charge, and including the United States, and all the countries are going to fall under the jurisdiction of the World Health Organization. And they said, the United States and all these countries are in some sort of treaty and everything like that. That's wonderful. The only problem is, if you go through and read it, treaties do not usurp the Constitution, okay? Nobody can just declare themselves more powerful than the Constitution. The Constitution is the rule of the land, the law of the land, the end, okay? It is it. Unless you can manage to take down the entire government and destroy the Constitution, which the WHO has no capability of doing, that's it. So all these stories you hear, they can say anything, but it's no different from me, me and Mrs. P putting a vote together and going, effective today, we own the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers go, no, don't care. Say it all you want. It doesn't mean squat. That's about how much weight that has. So all those people saying, and all those paranoid articles saying that the WHO is going to take over the United States and the rest of the world at the end of this month, it's bullshit. So don't worry about it. Jane, thank you for the super chat, and I will always stay true to who I am. I don't have a filter. That's it. I'm going to be who I am, and that's it. I'm too damn old to sit there and ask for permission anymore. Leo Wife, thank you for the super chat. No, I have no desire to run for president. Congress maybe, but president, no way. I'm already getting gray hair, so I don't need any faster. John Hasty, can I tell us what kind of air-to-water dehumidifier you used the other day? Hang on, I'll tell you what the name is. I put the link in that video to exactly which one it was. Well, no, I can't tell you what the name is because the only thing on the picture is it has like an S symbol or something like that. So go back to the video, look below in the description. The link is there to it specifically. The Ape Man 01, how do I trim my beard? I don't. The only thing I do is have the sides, which Mrs. P said today, I got to go get a haircut, get the sides cut down, but no, when I've had them trim this, they screw it up. So I tell them specifically to leave it alone. Thomas Odell, fresh eggs going for $5 a dozen in my neck of the woods. That's 40 some odd cents an egg. Come on, it's a freaking egg. Wolfang, have I heard about the gold back money? Oh yeah, somebody actually sent me one, so I've got one upstairs. What is it? New Hampshire and Nevada, I think it is. Maybe it's Utah. I forget what two states have it or whatever it is. The problem with it is, the concept is great. The problem with it is acceptability at this point in time and cost. It's it, it's cheaper to go out and buy yourself gold than it is to go buy a gold back. The ratio to a dollar right now does it not even close to correlating correctly. Eddie, no, if your AC makes water, except I've got a heat pump, so I don't have an AC. Rifleman, how deep is the pond going to be? On the upper side of because obviously we live on the side of a mountain, so there's a slope. The upper side, it's 3 feet deep. The lower side, it's 6 feet deep. So, and we were going to go it was down to maybe 8, but finally at this point, the problem that we got with it was because of the slope. I didn't want a big wall, and I've got that tree in the middle, and I didn't want to dig down too far to weaken everything around the tree. So then, I lose that tree. So we stayed in the 3 to 6, which should still be fine around here for fish, because according to the, what is it? It's not on it. The guys who study fish in Tennessee, to survive winters, it has to be at least 18 inches deep. So, thirsty tonight. Okay, let's see. Elizabeth Nelson, any suggestions how to get my peas, cucumbers, and zucchini to grow? Well, depending, I don't know where you live, but I did a video on doing peas last year, and you're 2 months, 3 months behind me in doing peas. I start my peas indoors in rain gutters. My peas are already 5 feet high. So cucumbers and zucchini. Cucumbers, I start indoors. Zucchini, I never have luck transplanting them. So those I just seed directly. But the big thing is, the key is you got to have good soil. I mean, if you're just trying to stick them in clay or sand or something, it's not going to work. You got to have that organic material, that compost, all mixed, those leaves, that grass clippings, everything like that mixed in. You've got to have rich soil. Otherwise, they're not going to grow worth crap. Henry Herman, lots of wolves and grizzly bears here in Alberta. We don't have that problem. We've got brown bears, so. Brown bears or black bears, whichever one's the less dangerous of the two. Hold my beer. Wisconsin is asking all people with private live chickens register them with the Department of Health. I'm certain everyone will comply. Yeah, they're asking to register, so once they put that over, then they can drive around house to house and save themselves a bunch of time. Go, hi, we're here to kill all your chickens. No, none of your freaking business what I own. This is what I don't get about the government. Who in the hell gave them the right to sit there and make every determination for everything we do in our lives? I sure as hell didn't vote for that. Okay. I didn't say, gee, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Governor, Mr. Representative, Mr. Senator, whatever the hell it would be, please make all the decisions for me in my life. No. Please do the one thing that you are supposed to do. Protect this country. Oh, forgot. You failed on that one. So your one job you have failed on, and you want me to give you other jobs? Don't think so. Your track record sucks. Dan Ubach, any recommendations for a low to mid-price garden tiller? Way too many variables in that. I mean, do you want gas? Do you want electric? I mean, what I would say, go look at Harbor Freight. Usually you can get something decent there at a good price. It's going to be made in China. It's not going to be the super highest quality, but most of my power tools are from Harbor Freight, and they're fine. So, but yeah, that would be where I'd say go check out. Kelly Weimers, I picked chicks up from an individual today. I miscounted and shorted myself a check, $10 a chick. That's how my days are going. $10 a chick, that's a lot. Okay. Rooster, we already got that question covered. Rifleman, when will the depression hit? Well, let me get the crystal ball here. I can't answer that question. It's like, oh yeah, September 29th at 4:32 in the afternoon. I can't say that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, even the Depression didn't start in 1929 on October 29th. Okay, that was the day the stock market crashed, and everybody calls that the beginning of the Depression, but that wasn't it. It was the after effects that have it. We're not going to have an event like, oh my God, the world just fell apart financially all in 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to have the gradual go down the cliff rather than right over the edge. Autumn West says, I've seen a few honeybees, but now a cool spell here. Yeah, the same thing. We've got cool here. Gas in New York is $6.40. Yeah, gas in California is what, pushing $8 now, if I'm not mistaken? Because, hey, we had to release a whole bunch of gas from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, so we could give that to Europe, and then we could go back and fill it for ourselves at the highs of the gas prices. Way to go, Joe. Saffron's Bay self-sufficiency again. Long stretch of highway in Indiana has 2 fields planted, rest or nothing. Most are not planting corn. That doesn't surprise me. The corn takes so much nitrogen fertilizer that the farmers aren't going to plant it. So that means the cornmeal, your cornbread, all that stuff, corn muffins, everything like that. Probably not going to see that. Okay, but think of how many things we did a video on this a week or so ago. How many things have corn products in them? And all of a sudden you're going, holy crap. Wait till you see grocery prices go up when there's no corn harvest this year. Okay. You want to eat sweet corn? You better plant it because you're not getting it at the store. I mean, it's what? 2 years ago, I was getting 5 years for 20 cents, 5 years for 20 cents at harvest time. Now you're paying near $1 a piece this time. It's not harvest time. But, usually it's a little higher in spring, but not $1 an ear. I mean, come on. It's corn. Corn. Gee, I want an ear of corn and an egg. That'll be $1.40. The hell you crapping? Nick Lombardi, why is no one talking about a cyber attack anymore? I just talked about it yesterday, I think it was. So I don't know why no one, but yeah, I pay attention to it. The scarier one now is if you saw it today, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow if I remember to, the artificial intelligence that China just perfected, if you will, on drones, and this gets scary, what they can do. So we'll see. I'm still doing a little bit of digging into some of the finite stuff on it, but once I get that one done, that's worrisome. Rustic Design, I took 3 loads of dead chickens to dump this week, 154,000 pounds. God. Kim, given high food prices, is the government handing out more food stamps? Yeah, they raised the food stamp. What was it, 25% earlier this year? They raised the food stamp allowance for people, which I get it, again, that's like putting a Band-Aid on cancer. It does, what about all the people that pay, actually earn the money, work for the money for their food? So, they produce something in society rather than be, just take. Once you do something about food prices rather than, more free handouts, because the people that work didn't get any sort of relief, we just get to pay more. Oh, but that's the way Joe wants it. Pay everything so we can decide who gets what. Ozark Mike, thank you for the super chat. John Mott, no surprise, Biden's been a failure from the start. Oh, I mean, we all called that. I did a video 2 years ago, close to 2 years ago, what to expect if Trump was elected and what to expect if Biden was elected, and wasn't right on everything. Absolute failure. I think I was correct on that part. Sugar in the attic homestead. Food banks are running out of food also. I heard from my friend that volunteers getting really bad. Yeah. And I can completely agree with it because, I try to support the food bank here, and food has got so freaking expensive, I can't afford to buy extra food to give to the food bank. And I'm not the only one. I'm sorry, but when the government thinks, oh, gee, the middle class has money to burn. No, the middle class, the money to burn is, oh, gee, I have turning on my lights. That's money. That's my money burning away. It's like everybody's hanging on, by fingernails on the side of the cliff going, please don't let it get any worse. I don't know what else I can cut back on. Chris Paris, when family and friends come knocking, when they get where, okay, the contact, it's the English isn't, I can't understand it. Tell them to get lost. Yes. Okay. Soap be it. Is Miss P dehydrating food to stock up? We got to start harvesting some of it before we can start dehydrating some of it. Okay. The dehydrating we do, I've said a few times, a lot of it is fish, i.e. pond. Okay. And then the vegetables and stuff like that. Well, the vegetables need to be grown before we can harvest them. Everything we did last year, we canned. We're still eating that. So that's good. It's funny, I was still eating green beans from 2020 the other day, which is fine by me. The green beans were still fine. But yeah, I mean, that's why we increased the size of the garden so we can stock even more this time around. Debbie Nugent, can you repeat what you use for numbers in fertilizer? It's NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So you're missing the middle one. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down here again. Okay, back to get caught up where we were. Robert, must be nice to have hair. I'm bald, but my beard is nicely gray. And so is mine. Lucky Dame is correct. This is not Craigslist. No selling, no advertising, guys. Okay, no. Oh, sorry. That's it. Okay. One mad American, what is the drink of choice tonight? Haven't seen one yet. Tonight is my non-alcoholic beer. I'm not too tired to. But I am thirsty. I was talking for an hour will make you thirsty. Let's see. There we go. Last Boy Scout, will gold or silver have a better chance of growth in the next recession? That's almost a 6 of one, half dozen of the other question. I can't. They're both precious metals. There's a good ratio that stays pretty tight. They'll probably move relatively in tandem to each other there. Charles, thank you for the super chat. He says, last fall, my wife and I canned 77 quarts of deboned chicken at 69 cents a pound. Neighbor says I'm overreacting. I told him, tell your wife to stop by if she gets hungry. There you go. Yeah, 69 cents a pound. Go buy thighs now. They're $1.69 a pound, Don't ask me how, but I can still get the 10-pound bags at the store of chicken leg quarters for 69 cents a pound. And I've got more of them than I know, there's probably 80 pounds of chicken in my freezer right now that way. God knows how much we got canned too. Fight for freedom. To buy chicks, we had to give our ID with address. I saw that when we went into Rural King a couple of months ago, that they were requiring people to give their name and address for buying chicks. I'm like, that's a little more information than I want. You don't need to know that. I'm buying freaking chicks. I can go get some eggs from my neighbor and put them in an incubator and hatch them, and nobody knows. Why do you need to know who has chickens and who doesn't? Rooster says black bears are less dangerous. Okay, and no way I'll register my chickens. There you go. Okay, Julie says, I can't stress enough, if you haven't seen 2,000 Mules yet, do it. Okay, I want to see that. Julie, I did not get the link from you, so if you can send it to me again, I'd love to see it. Wilderness Woman says that registering chicks has been in effect in Wisconsin for a long time. Rifleman, yes. A lot of people want the government to tell them what to do. They've been conditioned. That's the problem that we get into. It's not my fault. It's always something, it's the victim mentality. Oh, I'm always the victim. I'm always the victim. I tried to rob a store and I got hurt, so I need to sue the store. It's the store's fault, because they've been trained for that. The government will take care of me. Please tell me what the government makes. Does the government even hold a bake sale to generate revenue? No. The government just takes and takes and takes. And then out of the kindness of their heart, they go, oh, here's a loaf of bread for you. Here's a crumb for you. Here's a bar of gold for me. I mean, that's kind of what goes on. It's like this whole $33 billion that they want to give to Ukraine. I'll give you a stupid one. That's 2/3 of the amount of money that Russia spends on its military a year. Their military defense budget is about $50 billion. We want to send $30 billion to Ukraine. So think about that first off, okay? But think about why they want this. It's the old circular thing. We take the money from the government, we give it to the military-industrial complex, who then gives kickbacks to the government. Oh, gee, so all it is politicians stealing money from the taxpayers. How much of it actually makes it over? I mean, somebody said something that was in the $33 billion package the other day. And again, it was a climate change thing or something like that in there again. Like, no, stop with this crap, all this pork. It's like, let me guess, Nancy Pelosi's got money going to the Lincoln Center too in the name of Ukraine. Yeah. Let's see. Angela 222, priced out feed for my chickens today, charging $5 a dozen, barely covers cost of feed, not including the egg carton. God. Yeah. Because but you're right. That's the thing. The ridiculously expensive. You got to cover the cost somehow. I get it. Everybody says, oh, the cost of eggs are so expensive, but no, what does it cost to produce that egg? I get what you're saying. CB, here in central Indiana, we haven't had 3 days without rain, no planting of fields or our gardens. Yeah, that's just insane. Last Boy Scout, thank you for the super chat. And I hope that if one more person gets by because of what we do here, that will make me thrilled. Hopefully it's more, but if just one, then we're good. Robert says corn is always $1 here, never lower. Jeez. And another reason why I left Massachusetts years ago. Not the corn, but the cost of living. Recycled cottage and garden. I had sweet corn today for dinner, 69 cents an ear. It was a treat. Yeah. Granted, I'll give you right now at this time of year, it's off season for sweet corn, but just the cost is just insane. Deborah Haynes says, saw ears of corn for 25 cents each. That's more normal. That's more what I expect. Oh, man. Sorry. Claudia Starr, I hate to think what my propane will be cost on my propane cost will be in my pre-buy next month. $2.70 a gallon next month could be scary. Yeah, but at least you're doing a smart thing and buying it in the summer when it's not, oh, gee, let's get it in October. Yeah. No, Joe is an utter failure. As much as everybody said Jimmy Carter was the worst president ever, Barack Obama was the worst president ever, Joe Biden has managed to blow them away in screwing things up. There's nothing this administration has done right. Name one success they've had. They haven't. You can't. It's impossible. Uh, Oxford prepping. I'm hatching quail and chicken like crazy. 150 birds so far this month. There you go. Yeah. I mean, again, there's both sides of the fence. If it costs a lot to buy the chicks, somebody's selling it, so somebody might be making some money. So there you go. That's what I was saying about, seedlings and stuff with Walmart wanting $4 to $5 a pop. Start a bunch yourself and sell them on the side of the road. The Cushnet prepper. My next door neighbor is a prison guard making $60 an hour. Okay. That's good freaking money. But David Green, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, $60 an hour is good money. Never made $60 an hour in my life. Let's see. Rooster, for all you getting new chicks, remember, keep one pair of special shoes just for your coop, just a safety heads up. There you go. Charles, thank you for the super chat. Another problem with food cards is that people don't understand it doesn't matter how much money they get if the food isn't there. Exactly. Perfect example. If the stores are empty and you've got an EBT card that says, oh, I've got $2,000 worth of food and there's no food to buy, sorry, you don't get anything. Though it does bring up something that I'll give you real funny about that. The other day, Mrs. P and I stopped off at the little local store here on the way in. I mean, there's one tiny little store in my town. That's it. It's like an old house or whatever. What, a little old country store. Guy comes in, buys a gallon of milk and a candy bar on his food stamps, and then proceeds to get cigarettes at $6 a pack or whatever it is. I'm like, really? When it's, wants and needs. Frustrating. Because the guy was in perfectly good health and everything like that, so no idea. I'm not trying to judge or anything like that. It just, I think there's way too many people that are just living on handouts. And unfortunately, that means there's way too many of us paying for them. Let's see, I gotta find where we are again. Whoops, is that it? Yep, okay. There. Okay. Next one. Jamie, Alaska Prepper, did a good review on cheap water filters today. I wouldn't. Rudy does good reviews on stuff. I would not. I didn't get a chance to see it. I spent most of the day looking at the backs of my eyelids. So, Muskoka Oma, what is the best way to deter voles from eating my potatoes? Don't know. I don't have the problem. Yeah, I've never had that problem, so I can't give you an answer to it. That can be somebody else. Maybe ask some of the other local gardeners or local farmers what they do, but I don't have an answer for that one. Welding prepper, non-alcoholic beer isn't American. Well, yeah, but it keeps me out of trouble with the wife, the police, the aspirin company. So yeah, no, yeah. I drank enough of the real stuff in my younger days. Now, I may have one or two occasionally, but the non-alcoholic stuff suits my lifestyle better. Mama Bear, would I start a community garden as a deterrent from your own? It's an interesting concept. The only problem is very quickly, all of a sudden, you're going to have two gardens because human nature is, unless somebody wants to do it themselves, which means they would have their own garden, they'll say, oh yeah, I'll get involved. They'll work on it for a week or two and go, he'll take care of it. He'll take care of it. And the next thing you know, we have a community garden that I'm responsible for taking care of so everybody else can eat. Well, I've got my own garden that I'm responsible for so I can eat. Screw it, As much as we all preach community, I'm going to preach equal work, okay? You get out of something what you put into it, And I guarantee you, if you have a community garden, you're going to have 3/4 of the people that are interested in it for the first week or so. And then it's going to be, I've got to wash my hair that day. That's the problem. But guaranteed, they'll be the first one there. Is it harvest time? Have you picked it yet? Where's mine? Lady C, how do you store the fish after you dehydrate it? We keep it in the fridge. It doesn't last that long. Not that I'm catching, hundreds of fish or anything like that. But we dehydrate it and salt it and everything like that. Basically, at that point, what we're making is fish jerky. I mean, you just put it in a plastic bag and stick it on a shelf. Bee Charming leg quarters, I can get 59 cents a pound. Yeah, there you go. Same, like I said, I get 69. It used to be 59. Now it's 69. But even that, I'm not bitching about 69 cents. Eddie Vera, how can college students be prepared? Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about probably living in the dorm or something like that. Definitely have a bug out bag and definitely have a place to go. I mean, that's the thing. You are not staying in your dorm. There is no way you can do anything like that. You have to have a bug out plan. There is no staying where you are. Chances are your bug out plan means getting the mom and dads, but I don't know if home is in Illinois and you're going to school in, Missouri and, it's a 5-hour drive. That may not be realistic. So you got to have multiple different plans. Maybe your roommate lives close by, something like that. Yes, I get it. It's difficult. This is why a lot of people in the situation now aren't straying far from home. Rooster says, give them an enemy's name and address. Yeah, except I think they ask for ID. So that doesn't work unless you've stolen somebody's ID, which you got problems. Julie says, Pinball, it's in my email right now. Thank you. Troy McMaster, we need to tell the government what to do. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The government works for us. We don't work for them. They just kind of forget that part because they're all so freaking corrupt. It's like they all get on a power trip and go, well, you know what? I am the Speaker of the House. I am the Majority Leader. I am the President. And I am the one that pays your salary. So, last time I checked, the one who signs the front of the checks is the one who tells the one who signs the back of the checks what to do. You don't pay me, I pay you. So therefore, I'm the boss. Debbie Nugent, what do you use for phosphorus? Bone meal. I've showed you guys how to make bone meal as well. Or you can dry out potato peels. That'll work too. And then powder potato peels. Mountaintop Preps, there you go. Use cash to buy chicken feed to prevent tracking. Excellent point. Yeah, I mean, that's it. The more you can use cash, especially on buying your preps, the better off you are. I mean, some things, you're buying a gun or something like that. It doesn't matter if you use cash or a card or whatever it is. But, if you're buying chicken feed or whatever, like, I guess the point of what I'm saying here is this. If you have the chicks and then go put chicken feed on your credit card, there's now a record that you bought chicken feed. Why would you be buying chicken feed unless you have chickens? Okay. Pay for cash, there's no name, no nothing. So unless, they're using facial recognition software at the cash register, I think you're okay. Blankenship, how to keep sweet corn worm free. God, I forget what I saw this last year. I don't remember what it was. There's something, put a couple of drops of something on the tip of the corn ear when it's silking, and the worms will stay away from it. I forget what it is. I'm sorry. I've got the same problem you do. I would look that up last year, and now I can't remember what it was. It's just I've got it in my notes, but they're not handy here. But it's taking an eyedropper to each ear and just putting a couple of things, the eyedroppers in it, and it's supposed to keep the worms out of there. I wouldn't let Potato pet my dog. Neither would my dog. I like that. Troy McMaster, question: what kind of tomatoes are you growing? Black Crims, Siberian Earlies, some other one that I can never pronounce, Champagne Bubbles, and Bartelli. So there's 5 different tomatoes we've got going. Inherent Alchemy says possibly neem essential oil. Now, it wasn't neem for the corn. Jeffrey Lassard, do you include potassium iodide in your medical kit? Yes, I do. And you can find it on Amazon, guys. It's not that expensive. Mineral oil. There you go. Recycled cotton. Mineral oil in the corn. That was it. There you go. Did I got to the bottom. Holy crap. Or did it shoot down on me? Oh, no, it shot down on me and I just didn't see it. I thought I caught up for once. Lori Irons, I have ice cream in my freezer that's 24 a pint. I am the queen. Okay, are you sure your name isn't Nancy Pelosi? Not kidding. Rogue Yard Gnome, your thoughts on rumors of food riots by August? That kind of goes into what I was saying before. When we see harvest season and there is no food, or food is so ridiculously expensive, you're going to start seeing fights like you see fights on, Black Friday or the toilet paper aisle or stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to see that. Don't worry about it whatsoever. If you want to see, some good theater, go sit in the grocery store. Don't buy anything. Just stand back and watch. You're going to watch people freak out. Judy Goodson says, have I seen the news out of Israel? Big trouble there. No, I haven't. I haven't paid very little attention to what's going on at all today. I slept most of the day. Wilderness Woman, working with local kids this year, more reliable than adults and willing to work. They get to take home a share of produce for time put in. Yeah, and that makes sense because, the kids don't, they're looking for something to do. Their minds are still a sponge. They have fun with it. Adults see it as work. Janet Nice, I stocked up at Aldi buying flats of fruit and vegetables, but no one else was. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious when you're going to see on the news. It's going to be all of a sudden, there's no food in the store. I don't understand how this happened. This is the United States. Why don't we have any food? And I just want to take those people and go, come here. I just want to, smack you. It's like, wake up. But is what it is. On topic, how do you get your spouse on board? I've been doing it all myself and kicking butt, but it's slower than I want living in a tiny apartment. It's a matter of having the conversations. Kind of like I said before, don't you wish we would have bought some of this last year when it was $1.99 instead of today when it was $5.99? Yeah, that would have been nice. We would have saved $4. Oh, well, that's what I was doing. Eventually, everybody's different. Eventually, it takes some sort of event to smack them upside the head. The power has to go out for 2 days before somebody goes, you know what? Having a backup generator might be a good idea after all. Some people just don't get it. The ones that kill me are, you see the hurricanes that happen every year or the tornadoes or whatever it is. And people look at them and go, oh, that sucks for those people. Not in my backyard. That'll never happen to me. No, I live on the coast. I'll never get hit by a hurricane. No, I live in the Midwest. I'll never get hit by a tornado. No, I live in the forest. Fires don't happen here. People need to get their head out of their ass and realize it's a what-if scenario. And again, it's like car insurance. I don't ever plan on having a wreck. But if I do, I've got the insurance. Because after having the wreck is not the time to go try to buy car insurance. You know, after all the food runs out of the store is not the time where you have the epiphany and go, maybe it'd be a good idea to put some food away. Interesting. So, and on that note, it's 10 o'clock. Happy Mother's Day to everybody in the morning. So, and happy Victory over Europe Day to everybody for tomorrow. And keep your powder dry, guys. Keep prepping. Have a good evening. Pinball out.